Ever felt like someone's pulling your strings without you realizing it? Today, we'll uncover 8 hidden signs that someone might be trying to manipulate you, with insights from the Stoic philosophy. Hey there! Have you ever felt like someone's trying to control your actions without you even noticing it? It's like they're playing a puppet master, pulling your strings while you just go along with it. Well, today we're diving into the world of manipulation, but don't worry, we're bringing some wise friends along for the ride. Those ancient philosophers known as the Stoics. Now, you might be wondering, what does philosophy have to do with spotting manipulation? A whole lot, actually. Stoicism is all about understanding your emotions and reactions, which is super helpful when you're trying to figure out if someone is being a bit sneaky. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of social media drama, friend group dynamics, and even those tricky situations at school. That's why it's more important than ever to have a solid framework to recognize when someone might be trying to manipulate us. Stoicism offers exactly that. It's like having a mental shield that helps you keep your cool and stay true to yourself. Plus, it's not just for ancient philosophers. These principles are totally relevant to our everyday lives. So buckle up as we explore how Stoic wisdom can help us identify and counteract manipulation, making sure we stay in control of our own lives. Hey there! Have you ever had someone shower you with compliments that seem just a little too over the top? Like, wow, you're the best at everything, or no one can do it like you. While it's nice to hear, sometimes this excessive praise is more than just being friendly. It can be a sneaky way to manipulate you. Why, you ask? Because when someone flatters you too much, they might be trying to make you feel like you owe them something in return. Picture this. You're at school, and a classmate keeps telling you how amazing you are at math, even offering to do your homework because you're so smart. It feels good, right? But then, they might ask for a favor, like letting them copy your test answers. See the catch? This is where Stoicism comes in handy. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who were all about keeping it real, teach us to stay humble and self-aware. They'd say, don't let the flattery go to your head. Remember to keep your feet on the ground and know your worth without needing constant validation from others. By doing this, you avoid falling into the trap of feeling indebted to someone who's just buttering you up for their own gain. So next time someone lays it on thick with the compliments, take a step back, appreciate the nice words, but also ask yourself, what's their angle? Stay grounded and keep your independence intact. Alright, let's dive into one of the most sneaky tricks in the book, guilt tripping. Have you ever had a friend or someone in your life who made you feel bad for not doing something they wanted? Maybe they said something like, I thought you were my best friend, just because you couldn't hang out with them one time. That's guilt tripping, and it's a classic manipulation tactic. Guilt is like that annoying pop-up ad that keeps showing up when you're trying to watch a YouTube video. It's designed to make you feel like you're in the wrong, even if you're not. Manipulators use guilt to control your actions, making you feel responsible for their happiness or disappointment. Imagine a scenario where a friend is always reminding you of the favors they've done for you, just to get you to do something for them. It's kind of like someone keeping a tally of every time they lent you a pencil in class, and now they expect you to write their entire essay for them. But here's where Stoic philosophy comes to the rescue. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our intentions and personal values. Instead of getting caught up in the guilt trip, ask yourself, did I really do something wrong, or am I just being manipulated into feeling this way? By staying grounded in what you know is right and wrong, you can make decisions based on your own values, not someone else's emotional manipulation. So next time someone tries to guilt trip you, remember to stay true to yourself and what you believe in. Alright, let's dive into one of the sneakiest forms of manipulation, gaslighting. You might have heard this term tossed around in movies or on social media, but what does it really mean? Simply put, gaslighting is when someone tries to make you doubt your own perception of reality. Imagine you're watching a magic trick, and the magician keeps insisting that what you're seeing isn't real, even though you know what you saw with your own eyes. It's kind of like that, but in real life. Picture this. You've been hanging out with a friend, and they keep forgetting to invite you to group gatherings. When you bring it up, they say, "Oh, you never liked hanging out with us anyway," even though that's totally not true. This can make you question if you're remembering things wrong or if you're being unreasonable. That's the power of gaslighting. It messes with your mind and makes you feel confused. Now, how do we tackle this using Stoic wisdom? Stoicism teaches us to trust in our own perceptions and judgments. It's like having an inner compass that guides you through life, even when others try to steer you off course. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, would say, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This means we should hold on to our truths and not let others sway us from what we know is real. So the next time someone tries to twist your reality, remember to stay grounded. Trust in yourself and seek out objective truths. Talk to others, gather evidence, and most importantly, believe in what you know to be true. By doing this, you can build resilience and protect yourself from the mind games that gaslighting brings. It's all about staying strong and centered, just like a Stoic would. Hey there! Let's talk about something we've all encountered at some point. People who always seem to play the victim. You know the type, right? Whenever something goes wrong, they're quick to point fingers, often painting themselves as the helpless or misunderstood one. This is not just an irritating habit, it's a sneaky manipulation tactic. Why? Because by consistently portraying themselves as the victim, they subtly manipulate others to feel sorry for them, often gaining sympathy and support they might not deserve. Imagine a friend who always seems to have a crisis. Maybe their homework is mysteriously always eaten by the dog, or somehow every group project unfairly burdens them. You start to notice a pattern. They never seem to take responsibility for their actions. This is a classic example of using a victim mentality to manipulate others into offering help, bending rules, or excusing poor behavior. So, how do we handle this, especially if it's someone we care about? This is where Stoicism offers some solid advice. Stoic philosophy encourages us to promote accountability and emotional strength. Instead of getting swept up in their drama, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Encourage them to take responsibility for their actions, and remind them that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. In your own life, practicing emotional resilience means recognizing when someone is trying to manipulate your feelings and standing firm in your values. Remember, it's okay to support friends in need, but it's also important to draw boundaries and not let their perpetual victimhood drag you down. This approach not only helps you maintain your emotional balance, but also encourages those around you to grow and take charge of their own lives. So, keep your head up and stay strong. Alright, let's dive into this one. Imagine you're playing a game of Among Us, and one of your teammates conveniently forgets to tell you something crucial about the mission. They might not be the imposter, but they're definitely holding back some key info, right? That's what withholding information feels like in real life. It's when someone doesn't give you all the details you need, which can totally change how you make decisions. So why do people do this? It's simple. By keeping you in the dark, they can steer things in their favor without you even realizing it. Let's say you're working on a group project and someone knows about a deadline extension but doesn't tell you. They might be hoping you'll rush and mess up so they can look better. Sneaky, huh? Now here's where Stoicism comes in. It's all about seeking clarity and making informed decisions. Think of it like being Sherlock Holmes, always looking for the full picture. The Stoics would say that to counteract manipulation, you need to ask questions and not just accept half-truths. Channel your inner detective, and don't be afraid to dig deeper to get the whole story. This way, you can make choices that truly reflect what you want, not what someone else is trying to push you into. Alright, let's dive into another sneaky sign of manipulation: creating dependency. Imagine you're playing a video game, and you're suddenly told you can only level up if you buy a special item. Frustrating, right? Well, some people use similar tactics in real life to keep you under their thumb. Creating dependency is all about making someone feel like they can't do something on their own. It's like when your friend says you can't make it through a group project without their genius ideas, even though you're perfectly capable. They want you to feel like you need them to succeed or be happy, which isn't true. In a real-world example, think of a relationship where one person insists on making all the decisions, saying things like, "You'd be lost without me." This can slowly chip away at your confidence, making you feel like you can't make choices independently. Here's where Stoicism comes in as your superhero cape. Stoics believe in the power of self-reliance and inner strength. They remind us that relying too much on others can weaken our sense of independence. Instead, practice self-reflection and recognize your own capabilities. Remember, you have the power to make decisions and solve problems on your own. So the next time someone tries to make you feel like you can't do something without them, channel your inner Stoic and stand firm. You've got this. Trust in your ability to handle situations and make choices confidently, and you'll be less susceptible to this kind of manipulation. Alright, let's dive into one of the sneakiest tactics out there: emotional blackmail. Imagine this: you're hanging out with your friends, and one of them suddenly gives you that sad puppy-eyed look saying, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this for me." Sound familiar? That's emotional blackmail in action. It's like when a movie villain uses a loved one to twist the hero's arm. Only in real life, it's usually more subtle. Emotional blackmail is all about using emotions as a tool to push someone into doing what they want. It can be super tricky because it often involves people you care about, making it hard to say no without feeling guilty. It's like when your bestie says, "I thought we were friends," just because you can't help them with their homework this one time. So how do we handle this? Enter Stoicism. This ancient philosophy teaches us to prioritize rational thinking over emotional manipulation. Imagine you're Spock from Star Trek, calm, logical, and not swayed by emotions. Stoicism encourages us to step back and assess the situation logically. Ask yourself, is this request fair? Am I being asked to compromise my values or well-being? By focusing on rationality, you can set healthy boundaries and stand your ground without feeling like a bad person. Remember, it's okay to care for others, but not at the expense of your own peace and values. Next time someone tries to guilt-trip you emotionally, channel your inner Stoic and make a decision that's best for you, not just based on pressure. Keep in mind, being a good friend or family member doesn't mean you have to bend over backward whenever someone tugs at your heartstrings. It's about finding a balance and making choices that respect both your needs and theirs. After all, even superheroes need to prioritize their own mission sometimes. Hey there! So let's talk about something you might have encountered, but didn't quite know how to handle: constant criticism. Ever had that friend, or maybe even a teacher, who seems to nitpick everything you do? It feels like no matter how hard you try, they're always finding something to point out. This isn't just annoying. It can actually be a form of manipulation. But don't worry, we've got some Stoic wisdom to help you deal with it. First, let's understand why this happens. Constant criticism can be a sneaky tactic people use to make you doubt yourself. It chips away at your confidence, making you feel like you need to rely on the criticizer for approval or guidance. It's like when a movie critic keeps bashing every blockbuster, making you question if your love for superhero movies is valid. Now picture this: you're working hard on a group project, and there's this one person who always finds fault in your contributions. "This part could be better," or "I don't think this is good enough." It starts to make you second-guess your abilities, right? That's the manipulation trap. But here's where Stoicism comes in clutch. The Stoics teach us that our value doesn't come from what others say, but from our own actions and virtues. So when faced with constant criticism, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this criticism constructive, or is it just someone trying to bring me down? Focus on building your own self-assurance. Remind yourself of what you're good at and the progress you've made. It's like training for a sport. You don't let one missed shot define your whole game. You keep practicing, learning, and getting better. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. By recognizing the difference between helpful feedback and harmful criticism, you can maintain your confidence and keep rocking your path. So next time someone's on your case, channel your inner Stoic and let their words roll off like water off a duck's back. You've got this. Alright, let's bring it all together. We've just uncovered the 8 sneaky signs that someone might be trying to manipulate you. Remember, the world can sometimes feel like a complex game of chess, where people might use tactics like excessive praise, guilt-tripping, or even emotional blackmail to sway your decisions. But here's the thing, Stoic philosophy, which is like the wise old grandparent of modern self-help, teaches us to stand firm in our values and remain true to ourselves. By applying Stoic principles, we can become more aware of these manipulative maneuvers and resist them. Whether it's maintaining humility against flattery or promoting accountability when someone plays the victim, Stoicism gives us the tools to keep our autonomy and strength intact. So next time you sense someone trying to pull your strings, remember, you've got the wisdom of the Stoics by your side. Stay strong, stay true, and keep thriving.